46 to try and win this thriller. Aubrey got it into overtime and now wins it. What a ball game. Cowboys in OT.
Put on your cape, young man. Brandon Aubrey saving the day for Dallas in AT&T Stadium not once, but twice. A 64-yard game-tying field goal and a 46-yarder to seal the game in Week 2 for the Dallas Cowboys. 40-37, the final, and we're breaking it all down here on Cowboys Flashback. I'm Nicole Hutchison, and it wasn't pretty. It was far from perfect, but the Cowboys showed just enough poise in order to get the job done in Week 2 over New York. And it wasn't pretty, like I said, both offenses sloppy to start, penalties killing drives. But let's take the tape, right? Fourth quarter, 9:22 left in the game. Dak goes deep, 25 yards to CeeDee Lamb. His favorite target on that drive, by the way, 3 receptions, 48 yards, and it led to this beauty right here. Miles Sanders goes untouched for the touchdown. Trying to make up for that red zone fumble in last week's game against Philly. Cowboys, though, lead 27-23, and fast forward under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This game was absolutely drunk, okay? Russell Wilson says, hold my beer, 4th and 4. He takes advantage of the Cowboys' soft coverage. Perfect throw, perfect catch from Wan'Dale Robinson, and he goes 32 yards. Cowboys now down 30-27. But on the very next drive, 3rd and 4, Jalen Tolbert looking to redeem himself from the drop before and steps up big with a dive and catch. It's a 12-yard game, and the Cowboys move the sticks. But the people, listen, they wanted more George Pickens, GP3, after just seeing him with 4 targets in Week 1. 2nd and goal, under a minute, scoring the go-ahead touchdown, puts the Dallas Cowboys in front by 4. But head coach Brian Daboll in the kitchen, just like Schottenheimer Sunday, 1st and 10. This is vintage Russell Wilson right here, launching from 48 and drops it right in the bucket to Malik Neighbors. But listen, this is Brandon Aubrey right here. You just got to get the ball to the 50-yard line, but he makes it even better. A 64-yarder now sends the game into overtime. In the next point scores. Both offenses, like I said, still struggling. 8 minutes scoreless, but Dallas in the final 2 minutes. Now, you just put it in the playmakers' hand and you just let them eat. Dak with pressure goes deep for 27 yards to George Pickens. And the game finally comes down to a close. To Brandon Aubrey, thank him later, Dallas Cowboys, after a Dak scramble. Leave it up to him. I like my chances. And the Cowboys get their 9th straight win over the New York Giants and get Brian Schottenheimer his first win as a head coach in the NFL.
I was really good coming off the field. And then when Dak presented me, he and Jerry presented me with the game ball, that was pretty special for me. Cool way to win your first game. You know, you'll remember it forever. But the words that Dak and the players said to me after the game is why it's so special. It's I expect the first of many. But I'll remember this one forever because of the fight of these guys, the way they didn't quit. They just kept believing. You know, we always say give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter. I guess we had to go a little longer tonight, but we found a way to do it. And very, very special. But so proud of those young men, man. You talk about pro football and the ups and downs and the high lows and giving up big bombs, and then you got to go back out there. And some of the situational stuff we did was just incredible. What can I say about Brandon Aubrey? I mean, just, 4 field goals, 51, 44, 64. Would have been good from 70, and then the walk-off 46-yard kick. Yeah, so proud of those young men. The hard work that they've done. This is about them. This isn't about me. It's about them, and I'm just so blessed to be their head coach.
The Cowboys offense clicked when they needed to most. Now they're 1-1 in the season. Up next year on Cowboys Flashback, we're taking a deeper dive into this offense, what worked and what didn't. And also, George Pickens, he told me this offseason he was bringing swag to this offense. Well, the Giants got a first look at it.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
I'll probably say, like I said, resiliency, because me or C had an over route he caught, and then I think I caught the slant early, and that was about it for the first half. And then we came in here at halftime. We just knew what type of game it was going to have to be in terms of men. CD having to make plays.
Yeah, and when called upon, making plays is exactly what they did, helping lead Dallas to their shootout win over the New York Giants, 40-37, the final in Week 2. Welcome in to Cowboys Flashback again. I'm Nicole Hutchison, and not the biggest game stat-wise, so to speak, combining for just 8 targets between CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. But you can't just look at the stat sheet, right? You got to look at the big picture. That's why we love this game of football. CeeDee Lamb making tough grabs and extending drives for Dallas, even when coverage was tilted his way, and finished with 9 receptions for 112 yards. He now has 23 receiving yard gains, but it gets better now, right? He's got his terror twin with him. When the attention was on 88, like this third down play, Pickens was winning his one-on-ones to move the chains. His number, though, don't scream. He had a good day, 5 catches on 9 targets for 68 yards and a touchdown, but he made his impacts in other ways, right? Drawing a few defensive pass interference calls and shaded coverage kept drives alive, letting other Cowboys playmakers eat, something CD's enjoying quite a bit right now.
Happy for him, man. Happy he's here. And it showed, my man. He had his first touchdown. The first of many, you know, and he's a heck of a player, and I'm excited to what he's going to bring to this team in the future.
What kind of adjustments you guys make in the fourth quarter and kind of overtime passing attack really kind of stepped up?
We got to get aggressive. Use who you have as your outside pieces. I mean, they were doubling me all game, and we had to take a step back and understand that. And then after we came out and threw the pick in the second half, we made an adjustment, and then the rest is history. That man's the GOAT. All we had to do, we understood that we had to just get to the star. Once we get to the star, everything else is on BA.
When you walked by me in the tunnel that minute ago, you were saying something to an assistant coach, and you were like, I was just telling the media that. What were you referencing?
Last week, situation fell to my hands. This week, we step up. It's all about being resilient. Adversity gonna hit. It's all about how you respond.
How focused were you to have a response like you had?
I felt like I was myself again. So once we hit the fourth quarter, I knew it was my time to turn up.
Where would you say now through 2 games you and George Pickens are?
They keep pass interference in them. We're good. We're on this. We can get better. Me and CD can get better. All of us can get better. That's the standard, and that I'll hold us all to in the sense of like practice. Like we're never going to say we've made it. We're complacent in our relationship, and there's no room for improvement. So we can definitely improve more. But I think just that touchdown at the end of regulation before they got their last little heave, right, was just a prime example of just the trust, putting that ball right there on the front pylon. Know he's going to run a great route and coming out of it. Hell, and in the overtime, right, the catch across the middle, had to let it go a little early, and he pulls away and goes and makes the catch. It's continuing to grow, and it's in the right direction, and I'm proud of just the work that he's put in and the trust that we have in each other.
Obviously, you guys traded for George Pickens because you wanted to put teams in position like you did against the Giants in the fourth quarter in overtime, having to choose between CeeDee and George, allowing one or both of them to have big games. Just talk about the value of George Pickens to the offense as a whole.
Yeah, he's huge. He's a guy who's going to win one-on-one, or if not, draw fouls. Very physical. He's a mismatch for damn near any DB in this league, and so they're going to have to double him, and that's your troubles right there. You want to double him, or do you want to double CD? And if you double both, then at that point, right, other guys got to win, whether it be Ferg, Terp, Tolbert, or the backs. And right now, those guys are stepping up, and that's what we're going to continue to preach to guys is you've got to win your one-on-ones, because when these guys aren't doubled, they're going to take advantage of it. But when they are, we need other players to step up, or me use my legs as I did right there at the end of the game. And so it's a huge part of this offense, and he's a big asset and so valuable to us.
Yeah, over 340 passing yards for Dallas, and Dak with his fair share of weapons to distribute the ball to on Sunday. 9 different guys, including Cavante Turpin, who also getting his fair share. A perfect 4 catches on 4 targets for 47 yards and a touchdown. You're loving to see his confidence grow, specifically in his catching ability. But everything clicked in the passing game because Dallas was able to move the ball on the ground. Hello. More so, though, in the second half. Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams combining for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's now 4 rushing touchdowns in the 2 weeks. Dallas had 6 for the year in 2024. But hello, have a day, Javonte Williams. 130 yards from scrimmage, averaging 5 per touch on the ground. Hurdled over a defender in the second half, by the way. Could make a highlight reel off Sunday alone. How about going 30 yards untouched, making multiple defenders miss? 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks for 33, and he's just living in the moment.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that, but yeah, it just feel good to be back out there running, feeling like myself again. It's been a long journey, but I mean, I'm ready to go now.
That touchdown run was what did it feel like when you were out there? It just looked wide open once you broke that tackle. What happened?
Yeah, once I broke the tackle, all I seen was the end zone. Like, it's been a long time since I felt that feeling, so I ain't even know what to do.
In that vein, there were a lot of questions, a lot of doubts about this running back room over the course of the summer. A lot of us, myself included, vocalized those that helped over the course of training camp. I feel like you guys are a lot of people wrong these first 2 weeks of done.
I feel like we're just doing our job. It wasn't never to prove nobody wrong. I mean, the guys we got in the room, we competitors, we compete every day, so we're just going to keep making each other better.
Well, head coach Brian Schottenheimer said he wanted to see some improvement in the run game. Well, he saw that in terms of production. Now, it wasn't all pretty from this offensive line, right? But they did just enough in order to create those open run lanes for Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and a couple of other guys. But just 16 carries for Javonte Williams in the first half. The rest of his production came in the second half. He stepped into a new mode, a different mode, as we like to say, just like this offense. But as far as the other side of the ball, the defensive side, there were some struggles. George Teagues joins the show to help break it all down.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to Cowboys Flashback. Nicole Hutchison alongside former Cowboys safety George Teague to break down. You got to break down. Okay, got the energy in here, breaking down a Cowboys defense film, what happened, what went wrong, what worked. But defensively, I mean, the Cowboys made plays when they needed to, but it was just a little too inconsistent, and it really started in the first quarter, George.
It did. You know, you're always worried about what's going to happen when you were playing man-to-man or press. So I want to talk about just a little bit of technical issues that we had with Trayvon Diggs, right? We'll show you. This is Trayvon Diggs right here, and he is going against Malik Neighbors, okay? So when you were playing press technique right here with this guy, you have to make sure that you stay square. So when you let it run, he has to go back right here. When you open up at this point, Nicole, his left hand should be on Malik Neighbors. It's not there. So when you let it go, you can see it becomes a track meet, and you got to run with one of the fastest guys in the National Football League. It's hard to do.
Yeah, that was a 28-yard pickup on that end of that drive. The Cowboys obviously stall in the red zone. So bad play there, good play in the end to back it up. But when you talk about, you know, that play specifically, I mean, you saw Eberflus having his guys line up press, right? But then they started to play a little far off. I wonder if that just kind of goes to maybe the trust or lack of trust that he may have in his corners right now.
Yeah, I would say as a coach, I'd rather be off and let them try to run past me than up, you know, and let them just get free release at the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, backing up was probably something he just told the corners not to press anymore.
Malik Neighbors finishing with over 160 receiving yards. Wan'Dale Robinson with over 140. Not so good there, but switching gears, the defensive line was probably one of the strong suits, particularly in that interior, and Kenny Clark certainly making an impact through the first 2 weeks here, George.
Yes, and this particular play is actually really, really good. First of all, I like the scheme that they have going on here, that they're actually able to put 8 guys up on the line of scrimmage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's all of them up there, right? But what you really need to see, okay, is that he looks like he's wide open, okay? If I'm Russell Wilson, I'm probably going to throw it to him. So when you let it run, you'll see that he's not wide open, okay? So a better look for you that you're going to be able to see is from the back end, just real quick, right? Again, those 8 guys are on the line of scrimmage. Here is Kenny, and over here you also have Odigizua. 2 guys that bring the heat right here. So when you let it go, 29 doesn't know which way to go. You got pressure. You can see that our 2 guys that we thought was open or going to be open are not. They are covered up. So great pressure sack because you got guys confusing the quarterback. We need to start that a little bit earlier. That was late in the third.
The Cowboys had 3 sacks against the Giants. Would you believe this stat right here, that Kenny Clark led the team in pressures?
Really?
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't believe that.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Well, he did. Certainly, like I said, making an impact so far for the Dallas Cowboys in the run, also in pass rush as well situations. But we'll see how this secondary can build upon or try to improve really from their win in the Giants, and how they look forward to going up against the Chicago Bears. We hear from the secondary. Trayvon Diggs up next here on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, if anybody tells you that the presence of Deron Bland was not missed, well, they'd actually probably be lying. The Giants went from having one big play against Washington in Week 1 to having an early Sunday dinner on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. But the Cowboys still get the job done, 40-37. It was just the secondary that had their fair share of struggles. Trayvon Diggs being one of them. They went at him early, and Malik Neighbors made him pay with a couple of chunk plays. Also, Kyer Elam had his fair struggles as well. The safeties as well with Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker. There were some miscommunications on the back end, and as a result, Russell Wilson throwing for a second career best against the Dallas Cowboys. Not a good day in the office for the secondary.
One, for sure, we got to take a look at. We got a lot to clean up on defense, especially with our zone coverages and, just being tighter to coverages and, just the communication piece. I feel like we had a lot of blown coverages today. And, we just got to clean that up. A veteran like Russell Wilson is going to see all the holes and see everything. So, I feel like he took advantage of, the opportunity today. And, next time we play them, we just got to be better. And I know that we will.
The old Russell Wilson today, I think a lot of people are ready to put him out the pasture, and he was pretty damn good today.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good today for sure. And the receivers that he got guys that he can get the ball to. So, he played a hell of a game. He had a career day, and, we got to be better on defense.
I know every year's a new year, but there was at one point you guys had 9 of the 11 guys weren't even, out there running around together. How hard is it to build continuity, especially in game, when you got that many moving parts?
We just got to stick together, just go back to our training, go back to, what made us a team. So, I feel like we just go back to that and get it done.
Sorry, we're a lot of us coming in a bit late, but obviously win, but not the performance you guys will.
Yeah.
How do you evaluate this game, and then where do you guys go to try and improve it?
We had a lot of blown coverages today. Defense, didn't play too well in the pass game. I got to be better. Everyone just has to be better, So tomorrow we're going to go look at the film, clean it up, and the next time, the things that we did bad, we got to do better.
How would you just describe this game in the secondary?
Yeah.
It seemed like a fight.
Yeah.
Down, you got to get back up.
Yeah. I feel like we needed it. I'm glad that they was throwing the ball like that, so we can see how how offenses want to attack us, especially with our coverages that we play. We got a lot of mixed coverages and stuff. So just seeing that, we're going to be better next time.
So where do the Cowboys go from here? We're back to wrap things up here on Cowboys Flashback. Up next.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Turpin Dak and a touchdown! Yeah! Javante and a touchdown! Yeah! Miles Sanders and a touchdown! Yeah! Woo! Pick and Dak and a touchdown! Yeah! Wait for it. Interception. Hey, we ain't done. Who had a sack? James Hughes had a sack. Yeah! Kenny Clark had a sack. Yeah! Hey, and this son of a gun, man, this field goal kicker, I tell you what. 51-yard field goal. Yeah! 44-yard field goal. Yeah! 64-yard field goal. Yeah! Wait, in overtime.
that kind of made me feel like I suited up Sunday and beat the Giants. But time was had in the locker room post-win for the Dallas Cowboys, 40-37 the final in AT&T Stadium. And now they're just looking to build on top of that heading into week 3. They've got the Chicago Bears up next. It's a 3:25 kickoff in the Windy City. Can the Cowboys get their second win of the season? It'll be a lot of fun to watch.